Hey, I hope everyone's doing amazing today. So since really diving headfirst into the self-help industry a couple of years ago, I've heard from numerous sources that you need to have friends of all ages, older than you, younger than you, same age as you. So for my whole life, I have always naturally gravitated towards people who are much older than me. When I was in college, I was working at a daycare, and on the weekends I was hanging out with my students' parents, going out for drinks with them, meeting them at their house, having barbecues. So a couple of months ago, I had the absolute pleasure of going to this place in Valencia, California called the Gentle Barn as an animal lover. And you get to hang out with animals, and each animal has a volunteer that teaches you about them, that you can ask questions. One of my favorite parts of being at the Gentle Barn was meeting a couple of girls, one 15, the other 16 years old. And I was so impressed at all they knew about the animals that they were working with. One was working with an emu, and the other one was working with a cow, a male. These girls were two of the most mature young girls that I could have ever met in my life. They really did remind me of myself at their age, and I was so impressed at their vocabulary, their ability to connect with so many of the people who showed up, just the knowledge they had about the volunteer work that they were doing, and the fact that they were spending their weekends volunteering and making a difference in the world instead of what most teenagers do, which there's nothing wrong with that, but they were choosing. With the impression that they left on me, and with the change that they are creating in the world just by being themselves and just by being passionate, I wanted to stay in touch with the both of them. So I started connecting with them on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. To my absolute surprise, and I don't even know why I was surprised, because these two girls are absolutely two incredible human beings, I was to find out that they don't just volunteer. They are so passionate about animals and about educating the world that they also educate people about veganism. They also go to auctions and try to rescue animals. They go to slaughterhouses. Since meeting Alina, she has rescued both a pig and a chicken. Her story about rescuing the chicken, who is now named Lucky and is safe and happy at a place called Saving Grace Sanctuary. When she told me the story of how she rescued the chicken, I was absolutely floored at her resilience. She was absolutely relentless and wasn't going to give up. So the way that happened was that she wanted to educate herself. So she went to an auction in attempts to rescue a sheep from being killed. And she was basically told to get lost. And instead, and even though that she was not able to rescue a sheep that day, she still had a feeling in her gut that she needed to do something. So she asked her mom, can you please bring me to a slaughterhouse? I feel like somebody there needs our help. So she did. She went to a slaughterhouse that she had never been to before, and she talked to the workers, and she said, can you please just spare one life? Give me one chicken. Give me the opportunity to save someone today. And she was successful. And then she had to find a place for it. And then just a few weeks later, I saw her creating a GoFundMe to save a pig. And she wasn't successful right away. There was somebody else in line to rescue this pig first, nor did she raise the money needed, but she didn't give up. The thing is, she had hope. She didn't know how much time she had, but she was confident that she could do something. And just a few days later, I saw her announce on social media that she was able to save this pig. At first she wasn't, but she didn't give up, and then she did. So I have a segment on my blog, or I should say a section on my blog, called Boss Girl of the Week. And so far, I've only featured one person on there. And Boss Girl of the Week is a chance for me to interview someone who I consider a boss girl. So as soon as I started to get to know Alina, I knew 1000% that I wanted to feature her on there. I wanted to get to know more about her, and I wanted to learn from her because she has so much to teach me, and I had the pleasure of interviewing. We had a conversation yesterday for about an hour and a half. She was able to time block for me to interview her, and it was the best experience that I could have ever had, and she continues to blow me away. I'll tell you a little bit more. The things that we were able to converse about yesterday are way beyond the years of anything that a 16-year-old would know. I asked her if she wanted to stay in California or where she would want to have an animal sanctuary, because she shared that she did want to have a sanctuary somewhere. And she was talking about wanting to go to places like third world countries where it's so much worse, places like Asia. This is all stuff that I had no idea about. So the fact that she is so researched and so passionate on the subjects that she loves, she's lost friends telling me about how when one of her teachers found out that she was vegan and that she was an advocate for the vegan lifestyle, that in front of the whole class he explained why veganism is the wrong choice of diet and why you need animals. She hasn't let that influence her. She hasn't let that change her. In fact, she even recently started volunteering at another sanctuary at Saving Grace. And this is not getting to be with the animals. This is learning how a shelter, how a sanctuary is run. And then I remembered what I was learning in self-help about how it is important to have people in your life that are not just your age, that are not just your peers, that are way older than you, but even much younger than you. Alina is a decade younger than me, and she has so much value to offer this world. She has so much to give. She is going to change the world one day, you mark my words. So if you want to read more about her, I am going to post a little bit more on Boss Girl behavior. The message is to let everyone know to be open, because you never know who you're going to learn from. I never in a million years thought somebody that is a decade younger than me could be changing the world the way she is, one animal at a time, one sanctuary at a time. And because of her, I will never forget it. I will never not give somebody a chance because they are 50 years older than me, because they are 15 years younger than me, because the stuff that I've learned from Alina just in the 2 months of knowing her is the gifts that she is offering are beyond words. And had I not given her a chance, or had I not listened to her thinking that we weren't the same age so we wouldn't be able to relate, I would have missed all of it. So I'm so glad that I met her and that I was able to get to know her. I invite you to remember this for the future. If you would like to follow her on Instagram, it is Alina Rescues. I would love for you to follow her on Instagram, and just to learn from everyone and to be open to meeting anyone and everyone. You never know what they have. I am absolutely blown away. In fact, blown away is a complete understatement. I don't even know what to say other than that, Alina, I love you, I celebrate you, I applaud you. You are way beyond your years for a 16-year-old. Sending you all my love. Have an amazing day. Mwah.